Alright, what's going on today, YouTube? Welcome back to your favorite cyclist YouTube channel. This week, we are back working on the Trek 820, and we are swapping on some new cantilever brakes. But before we get into today's video, if you are new to my channel, make sure you head down below, hit that subscribe button for me. If you already are subscribed, make sure that little bell icon next to that's checked off. That way you get notified every time I upload. That way you don't miss any of this awesome cycling content we got on this channel. So right onto the video, we are working on the Trek Mountain Track 820. The good bike that I got for free that happened to fit my wife, and she liked it, which is a good thing. She liked the bike, which means we are building up a mountain bike for her. Now, this bike, again, very basic. She doesn't want a crazy mountain bike. She's not gonna go super crazy on the trails. She just wants something that can be able to do dirt trails, a little bit of off-roading, a little bit of gravel trails, a little bit more than her Specialized Aerial can. The Specialized Aerial is a very capable bike, very capable of doing those things, but I would like her to feel a little bit more comfortable going on trails like that, especially since I know my daughter is into going on trails like that and going to places that Dad likes to go, and they tend to be a little bit more than I think the Aerial can handle. So, we're going to be building this bike up, and what we're going to be doing, we're doing a resto mod on this bike. If you don't know what a resto mod is, I've talked about it before on my channel, where essentially you're going to have a old style bike like this with some new components on it to make it a little bit more modern. So what we're doing today is we're replacing the brakes. So if you watch the videos on this bike so far, you know the brakes on this, the cantilevers that came on this, they're pretty much broken. They kind of work, but they don't work. So we're going to swap this out for a brand new set of cantilever brakes. But these are Shimano, the BR-CT91s. Same number, but there is a front and a rear, so make sure you get the right one for cantilevers. They're weird like that. So make sure you get a front and a rear. I have one marked as front, one marked as rear there. So these are going to go on. They're pretty much the exact same thing that are on the bike right now, just modernized, not from the 90s. They're from now. These are brand new, ready to go. And I love cantilevers because they're dirt cheap to buy. So these are going on the bike, and then of course with those guys we have a brand new set of cables. So we're gonna run brand new cables on there. These are the same cables that I bought for the road bike, so they work good for that. They're ridiculously cheap. They're like $9 for a set of cables and housing that works. So we're gonna swap all the cables on this bike out. That way everything feels new, works new, and it should work great on this bike. So let's move right over to the front. We'll start tearing this old guy off, start putting our new one on. We'll get the brakes working great on this bike. So you guys should be pretty familiar with this view on this bike, because this is where I had you guys last time. So for a cantilever, you're gonna need two different tools. So in this case, we're gonna need a 5mm right down here for our mounting bolts on the actual cantilever caliper, and then we need a 10mm, whether it's a wrench or ratchet, whatever you got, for that mounting bolt right here for your cable. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna pull this mounting bolt off for our cable, 10mm. Once we pull that off, we should just be able to pop our cable right out of here. And of course you could just cut the cable, but we're checking these brakes because, especially the front one's dead. So we need to get this cable out of here. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna tighten our bolt back down here just so it doesn't get lost. There we go. And then we'll just pop our other cable out just like that. And our cable is completely detached. We are gonna need to cut this end off to slip it back through the housing, but that is all done. From there, we need to take off the actual calipers here, which again, 5mm. They should just come right off because I think I just greased them when I put them back in. That's why we're replacing them. If you didn't know, that plastic piece that holds the spring in actually broke on both sides of the front brake. So they're holding those zip ties just for the time, but yeah, they're toast. They're toast. They no longer held spring tension. That piece is missing some. I don't, all sorts of bad stuff. This is an important part. This little bridge right here for your cantilevers. Make sure your new ones come with one, so try not to ruin this. So most of the time they come with a new one, but this is something you definitely want to hang on to because you have to buy a new one. They don't come with any cable set or anything, so make sure you at least hang on to it. You might need to use it in the future. We'll go ahead here and we'll just reset our tensioner all the way in. That way we can reset our cable at the right spot. So there we go, there's our guy right there, all set to go. We're gonna wipe these down and we'll grab our new caliper and start sticking them on. So I like to throw a little bit of grease on these posts right here, just because that's where the brake pivot's on. So I like to do that. It's definitely not necessary, but I like to do it. Make sure you grab what brake this is. So we're working on the front. So this one has the front checked off there. So we're gonna grab our front. Let's take a look what is included with a set of these. All right, hey, it does come with new bolts. All right, so we come with new bolts, and we come with that brake bridge right there, brand new one. Sick. We're gonna throw on new bolts on this guy. All right, and instructions should be in there as well if you need them. So as you can see, brand new, shiny brakes, ready to go. The brake pads on these are actually like a softer rubber, so they'll actually grip onto the wheel, which will be good. And that plastic around the spring is set to go. So when you look here, there's actually going to be 3 different holes. It's kind of tough to see, but there are 3 holes, and you'll see them on your own bike there. If there's just one, you're set to go. If you have 3, that pretty much means you could use V-brakes on there. That's going to adjust the tension that that spring is going to be placed at. So I generally go smack for the middle to start with, and you can see now with that there, the brake caliper has some spring to it, which is one thing the old ones did not have. They did not have any spring left to them. So we're going to open our guide. We're going to use our brand new hardware, because why not? You're working on a 90s bike. I mean, why not replace everything you possibly can and make everything nice and happy, right? And we'll do the same thing over here, line it up with the center. There we are. And again, see, nice and springy. Again, the old ones were not springy, so that's a great thing to see. Throw our other bolts on, and those should be 5s, and look at that. The mounting bolt for the cable, it's a 5 too. So we're upgrading here. We're doing some big upgrades, big moves, making this bike way better. So next up there's a bolt right here on the front, and there's a Allen head right here on the pad, and then there's a nut on the back of here. What those are gonna let you do is actually move the pad up and down. You can kind of see, let's see. I'll let you move the pad up and down and that slot. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna line this up with our braking surface on the wheel, and you can adjust the angle and how far it's in or out and all that stuff. And that's kind of why I like cantilevers. You can do all sorts of things with them. So you will need a 10mm wrench for these because they do not give you room to get a socket and a ratchet in there. And we're gonna kind of get it adjusted. I'm gonna go about halfway through its travel, which should be fairly good. And then we just gotta go to the nut on the back. Make sure it stays where you want it, of course. All right, and we just gotta tighten that 10mm nut up on the back. Check it again. Looks solid to me. All right, tighten that guy down all the way. Seems like it's working great. And we do the same thing to our other side. Again, get that up in there. Loosen it up just a hair, so we can kind of slide our brake around. There we go. All right. Once you have your pads going flat on to the braking surface, tighten both the nuts down, make sure they're good and tight. You don't want your brake pads moving. That will do for now. All right, once you get that done, we're gonna redo our cable. I'm gonna go ahead and cut our housing for this the same length as our old one, and we'll get that fed through, and then we'll get the rest of the brakes set up. Okay, so we got our new cable, new housing, all ran down. One thing with cantilevers, you need to make sure you have some sort of stop here. Generally with a setup with a threaded headset, you're gonna have a little stopper here. You need to make sure you have that because that's where your cable's actually gonna stop and be able to pull up. So you need to make sure that has it. If you're having problems with cantilever brake, check that, make sure you actually have something there and that's not broken or out of its spot. Once we get that set, we get our little brake bridge guy here. So as you can tell, it looks kind of like a cable end over here, and this side is just a piece of like straight cable housing. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna get our cable and we're going to feed it right down through there if we can. Just like that, there's our little brake bridge. So we need to get the side that looks like a cable end, pop that into that side, and we need again our 5mm here, and we're gonna loosen up our cable mounting bolt on this side. So you kind of got to play with both the height of your brake bridge as well as your cable tension at the same time, because you want it to essentially look like that right there. You want it to be high enough out of the way, but still plenty of tension on your cable, because if you follow me on my channel, you know, put your cable as tight as you can and then yeet it down after that, and your brakes will feel pretty solid because that'll get that initial stretch right out of the way. So got that pretty solid there. So as you can tell, brake lever's pretty tight right now. There's not much movement. We're going to pull that guy as hard as we can back to the bars. That's gonna give us some more play there. And it looks like our tension is slightly off. We got too much tension on the one side. So grab our screwdriver on just one side of this. It's going to have your tension screw right here. I'm tensioning the, what would that be? The left side. So we're going to back some tension off of there. Let's see if we can get this kind of do in the middle. We're close. Let's see. So there we go. So we adjust our tension some. So if we spin our wheel, we stick out a little too much on that side, which we can back off just a hair more. I think we'll be looking, oh yeah, we're looking solid now. All right, look at that. So backed off a little bit more. Both sides move in about the same. Spin our wheel. No rubbing. Pull that brake lever. That guy stops. And there we go. We got that guy feeling good. The brake lever feels good too. Heck yeah. All right. All that's left in this, we got to trim our cable down. Again, I like to go probably about the length of the caliper itself. So probably cut it off right about there. Put our cable end on and we'll start working on the rear and get that one set the same way. All right, and that's how you go ahead and put new cantilever brakes on a bike, get them all installed, adjusted properly, and get some shiny new parts on your old bike when those parts break. So ultimately it takes a little bit of patience with cantilever brakes. There's a lot of different moving parts to that. So you just kind of take your time, get things adjusted right. Sometimes you got to play with the cable tension, especially with the rear if there's two cables. Got to deal with that. So it takes a little bit of time to get things going, but once they're going, they're going to be a great brake. They work really good, have good clearance for mud, and they look really cool on an old bike. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Appreciate the support. Any comments or questions, let me know down in the comment section below. Love chatting with you guys. Love answering questions you guys have, and I will talk to you in the next video. Thanks for watching today.